Hi, welcome to this video. My name is Derik. I will be addressing 3 different topics in this video. Even though they may not be evident at first, they are all linked as we will come to see by the end. So bear with me, as the message I am conveying could end up saving millions of liters of drinking water globally each year. Oh, I want to say this again. The message I am conveying could end up saving millions of liters of drinking water on every country each year. But first, let me highlight some important points to my discourse so it can be fully understood in its scope and intention. Firstly, there are many ways to make water available to the Earth's population for drinking purposes. By increasing forests that in time produce more water, by treating bigger quantities of water so that people have more of it available. C, by reducing the consumption of water so that the little that is available is enough for everyone. This last point, reducing the consumption of water, is where I am heading. But this is not a campaign to try and make people aware of the importance of water and how to use it intelligently. If you follow along with me, you will see that there are 2 things that can effectively be done that will cut the use of water in any given country by 1/3. Secondly, the aforementioned methods of water availability are all equally important. Water sources, forests, are essential, but it takes a lot of time and considerable amounts of money to develop and increase those resources. On the other hand, treating larger amounts of water means new treatment plants, years to build them, and millions again to run them. The new way of using water that I am proposing is, in my opinion, the cheapest, the fastest, and most intelligent method. My hope is that by the end of this video, you will see how simple yet effective it is. Perhaps even ask yourself, why didn't we think of that before? Third point. Most devices we use in our daily lives operate under the same principle. We turn it on when we are going to use it, and we turn it off when we have finished using it. Because we want to be efficient with the use of our resources. Many examples can illustrate this. We turn on a light when we enter a room, and we turn it off when we leave the room. This is so because light uses electricity and it's an expensive resource. We don't leave the lights on in a room for later use hours later. That would be incomprehensible. We start the car when we are ready to use it because it uses fuel and it is an expensive resource, among other things. We don't leave cars running until we are ready to use them next. That would be such a waste of resources. Some other examples are less present but are real nonetheless. Elevators in buildings are activated when we are going to use them. They are not running up and down all day unless they are in use. Companies turn off their machinery at night during closing hours. Firefighters are not running up and down the cities in search of a fire. Mind you, if they happened to see a fire, they would already be there. They could put out the fire right away. but it would be deemed a waste of resources if they were patrolling the city non-stop just to be there on time. Last point. Water consumption in cities mostly falls under one of these three categories: domestic, industrial, and agriculture. Each one of these categories consume lots of water. Domestically, there are millions of people using water every day. And whether it is 50 liters a day per person or 200, the fact remains that there are millions of people using water about the same way every day. So, we have limited our observations to the domestic use of water because every single human being uses water every day, and it represents millions of liters per day. Finally, we get to the core of our presentation. Our findings about the domestic use of water reveal that there is a water loss while performing related tasks, but not using the flow of water. In other words, when the tap is flowing, but you are not taking the water that is flowing. There are many reasons why this is the case worldwide, but the main one is that we have been using water fixtures for centuries based on the wrong paradigm. We run the water and we take the quantity we need when we need it. We just make the water run and then we take what we want. What we haven't noticed until now is that even though faucets have been in use for so long, they come in a myriad of shapes, colors, and composites. But they haven't evolved too much for our needs. They have always controlled the flow and temperature of water. On another hand, and in a totally different domain, commercial domain, many years ago, manufacturers developed a faucet that regulates when the water is actually being taken. And this is key, because until now, it has only been applied to commercial businesses where there are public restrooms and thousands of people are using them every day. So, they identified a need in the market for a different product, and they came up with a faucet that senses when the hands are in close proximity, allowing for water to flow in response. It has only been produced for commercial use because having a movement sensor and an internal mechanism to open and close the valves was too expensive to produce, so the price could only be justified through large savings of water. And that is the solution: to transfer the sensor to domestic water fixtures in our homes. I wanted to be clear that with the technical modifications I'm going to suggest, the user is going to end up having water in the exact same way they have the water now, flow control and temperature, but in addition, not a single drop is going to be wasted. Doesn't that sound marvelous? So, in fact, I am not inventing anything. You already know the concept: to allow the flow of water just when it is precisely being taken. Let's examine the concept in detail with some examples. If you're washing your hands, the tap gives you water. When you're soaping your hands, the tap stops delivering water to you. You are still there. You are still washing your hands, but the tap says, while you are soaping your hands, I will shut off. Another example, if you are taking water to wet your face, The magic tap gives you the water. If you're rinsing your face, the jet stops because your hands are not there anymore. So we should not open the faucet or shower, tap, hose during the whole activity, only when we are going to take the water we need. Just imagine the same for washing the dishes, for taking a shower, etc. What I'm saying right now is let's mass produce taps with sensors for domestic use. They are already cheap to make. They are more precise than ever before. They just have to integrate the technology from the commercial market to the domestic market. Amazon is mass producing Alexa just to turn on the lights, to change the song you're listening to, or to adjust the temperature in your room. Let's just do it for water, the most important resource on the planet. According to many different sources, only 2% of the total water in the world is suitable for human consumption. So, the faucet manufacturers, it doesn't matter the country, the market for which they produce, the resources they haven't been able to follow the new needs of the 21st century. But we need a different product. The market is demanding it, and they have to deliver it for business purposes and for ethical reasons. A whole new industry should come from these new water fixtures, and this idea is not yet complete. There is a new element, the last one, that should come into play to make this new technology widely available in every country. And this is the last element we will analyze today. When did smoke detectors become ubiquitous in every home in all developed countries? When did protective helmets become a necessity for every motorcycle driver? Why does everything have to be written in 2 official languages in Canada? Why do lights come on automatically as soon as you start a car? I can fill a whole page with examples like this of things that are mandatory, so much so that we don't even think about them anymore. We just go adopt them and comply with them, because a law makes it obligatory. Requirements for the benefit of society are made law so that everyone can benefit from it. Whether we like it or not, we must comply with it. So that is the element that comes into play now. Let's introduce a project of law in every country that makes these new water flow systems mandatory for any new building or house developments as soon as it becomes available. We are just promoting a new system to be compliant with the new needs of the 21st century. Furthermore, that law should include a retrofit clause of 5 years to make it compliant. Governmental programs could be put into place for the retrofit that could save millions and millions of dollars in treatment plants, similar to the new energy efficient furnaces, toilets, and electric cars. Water fixture manufacturers, it is time to develop a new system that has the potential to be sold by the millions. Are you interested in that market? Don't forget that the early adopters are going to take a bigger market share. I appreciate of you having listened to this video, and I hope to hear about the first tap manufacturer to mass produce the first domestic Alexa faucet, and the first country to adopt this new regulation as soon as the new product emerge. Saving millions of liters of drinking water is an easy thing to do if we have the right tools. So let's make it happen. If you are a citizen of the world and you have listened to this video, this is where it ends. What follows are some specifications directed at faucet manufacturers about the new potential functionalities of faucets and shower and the like. The new control panel for tap, showers and the likes come with the following features. 1. Debit, low, medium, high, plus a control to put it between 0 and 100. 2. Temperature, low, medium, high, and a control to put it between 0 and 100 degrees. 3. Intermittence of the flow, normal, short, medium, long. 4. Sensor, activated or deactivated, or normal debit. 5. Activation, hand sensor, voice activated, feet control. 6. Old system. The new system should still have the two dial-like controls. Some more details that can come to mind for brainstorming and evaluation. 1. The sensing taps that exist today for commercial use understandably come with a prefixed very low flow. The ones for domestic use must have that, but they must also have the capability of a free flow, as they do currently. If people see or think that the new system doesn't deliver enough flow as the ones they have, they might be hesitant to switch to the new method. 2. The sensors could be placed on the tap itself or in other locations of the sink or bathroom. 3. For more evolved systems, the shower head could have different jets for more convenience. For more evolved systems, they could have heater system, so that water starts flowing at the desired temperature right away. Just a few closing arguments before I conclude. A. I am not an engineer, so whatever flaws exist in my idea should be addressed by your designers. But the essential is the idea itself to bring more functionality to domestic taps. B. This is an idea that would seemingly change the niche of the market quite drastically, generating a new impulse, a renewal to water delivering systems. Millions and millions of new buyers, millions and millions of retrofits. Do you want to be part of that new emerging market? C. The idea is to change the paradigm from our current domestic water use, open the water and take what we need, to a new one, get the precise water we need in the exact moment we need it. D. I get hold of some other profound ideas about the use of water in the future that are related to another revolutionary concept, domestic water recycling. E. There are already many states within the United States of America that are experiencing severe droughts, and countless countries around the world not having enough capacity to provide drinking water to their increasingly growing populations. All this to say, this is the time for prompt action. F. I could have made money with this idea, but I preferred to go public worldwide so that more companies adhere to the new concepts and more countries in distress can access the new developed technologies faster. I am at the end of my presentation now, with a deep sense of relief for having rendered any kind of service to society. A contribution to the world I live in that could end up saving millions of liters of drinking water on every country each year. I thank you so much for your presence and dream with the day I see all this a reality.